You know when you watch a great nail tech at work? They've got all these liquids and powders and gels, and somehow they turn it all into this durable, gorgeous art? It really does feel like magic, doesn't it? Well, today we're going to pull back that curtain and show you it's not magic at all, it's pure chemistry.
And this quote right here from the Louisville Beauty Academy, this is the whole game. Seriously, understanding the science behind what's in those little bottles, that's not just some boring school stuff. It is the key to getting flawless results, keeping your clients safe, and becoming a true master of your profession.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start with the big ideas, then get into the science of what makes nails strong, talk about the finishing touches, and wrap it all up with what is absolutely the most important part, your safety.
Let's just start right here. I want you to think of chemistry as the engine that powers literally everything you do. Every single service. When an acrylic set gets hard or a gel cures under a lamp, that's not just happening randomly. It's all being driven by a very specific chemical process.
Okay, so at the heart of all nail chemistry, everything really boils down to two fundamental processes. And honestly, the most critical distinction you can ever make is understanding the difference between a chemical reaction and simple evaporation. Here's what it comes down to. A chemical reaction creates something totally new. Think about acrylics and gels. They harden, they cure. Evaporation, though, that's just a substance changing from a liquid to a solid because something, well, evaporated. It just dries. Think regular nail polish. If you can master this one simple difference, you are well on your way to controlling your craft. All right, so let's zoom in on those chemical reactions first. This part is all about the heavy hitters, the products that create real strength and structure. We're talking about the foundation of nail enhancements, acrylics and gels.
First up in the acrylic system, we've got the monomer. This is your liquid, and the LBA tip here makes it so easy to remember. Just think, monomer is the liquid part. It's one half of the whole equation.
And you guessed it, the other half of that equation is the polymer. This is your acrylic powder. And again, the LBA tip keeps it simple. Polymer is the powder part. When this powder meets that monomer liquid, that's when the real chemistry kicks off. This whole process has a name. It's called polymerization. The second your brush picks up that perfect bead of liquid and powder, you've started a chain reaction. All these tiny molecules start linking together, forming these long, super strong chains. So remember, the nail isn't drying. A brand new, solid structure is being chemically built right there on the nail. And this is exactly why your liquid-to-powder ratio is everything. Like the Academy says, perfect ratio equals perfect chemistry. If you go too wet, you end up with a weak nail, it's going to lift, and you're majorly increasing the risk of allergies. Go too dry, and it's just crumbly and won't stick. Only that perfect, correct ratio gives you that smooth, workable bead you need for a strong, beautiful result. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about gels. Here is a super common mistake I hear all the time. Gels do not dry, they cure. It's another chemical reaction, but this time it's not started by mixing two things together. It's kicked off by energy, specifically the energy from a UV or LED lamp. So this brings us to something I'm sure we've all experienced, whether as a tech or a client, that sudden, sharp feeling of heat when the gel is in the lamp. What is actually going on there? That little heat spike just means the chemical reaction is happening way too fast. But the good news is, you are totally in control of it. You can apply thinner layers of gel, you can flash cure by having your client pop their hand in and out for a few seconds, or just use your lamp's low heat mode. These are simple tricks that make a huge difference for your client's comfort and safety. So after you cure a layer of gel, you'll notice it's got this sticky layer on top. Don't panic. That's called the oxygen inhibition layer, and it is 100% normal. It's just because the oxygen in the air keeps the very, very top surface from curing all the way. The big tip here is, do not wipe it off between your layers. That sticky surface is actually what helps the next coat of gel grab on perfectly. Okay, we have conquered chemical reactions. Now, let's move on to the simpler side of things. The products that work through evaporation and just basic bonding. These are your finishing touches. The classic nail polish system is all about evaporation. The base coat works kind of like double-sided tape, right? It grips the nail plate on one side and the polish on the other. Then, as the nail polish dries, the solvents are just evaporating into the air, leaving all the color and resins behind. And finally, the top coat seals the deal, protecting everything and giving it that amazing shine. Adhesives are also a huge part of your toolkit, and you got to use the right one for the job.
Your standard nail glue, that's cyanoacrylate, is awesome for tips and little fixes. For a stronger bond, you'll want a thicker resin that works with an activator. And for locking down rhinestones and all that fun stuff, gel adhesives are your best friend because they won't set until you tell them to with your lamp.
And now we've arrived at the most critical section of all. Because all this chemistry knowledge, it's not just about making pretty nails. It's about protecting yourself and protecting your clients. Your knowledge truly is your best protection.
Let me be crystal clear about this, because it is non-negotiable. On the left, you have MMA. That is the professional standard. It's safe, it creates flexible enhancements. On the right, you have MMA. It is illegal in many places for a very good reason. It's dangerous. It creates a bond that is so rigid it can cause severe damage and horrible allergies. The choice isn't a choice. You always use the professional safe standard, period.
Think of these 5 rules as your professional safety code. You have to live by them. 1. Avoid skin contact with any uncured product. 2. Always use the correct ratio. 3. Keep your application clean. No pools of gel on or under the nail. 4. Ventilation is your friend. And 5. Don't play chemist by mixing product lines that weren't designed to go together. Your health and your client's health depends on this.
So let's just wrap this all up. After everything we've talked about, you can now confidently say, yes, I can understand product chemistry. You know the difference between a reaction and evaporation? You get it.
And because you understand that chemistry, you can now say, yes, I can protect my clients. You know how to stop heat spikes, how to avoid dangerous chemicals, and how to lower those allergy risks.
And all of that leads to this, the most important statement of all. Yes, I can apply safely. Your knowledge has become your power. It's your professional edge.
So you've gone from thinking it was all magic to knowing that it's all about mastery. You have the science. You have the knowledge to control your craft safely and to get incredible results. So the only question left is, what are you going to create with it?